全く、テストは全く
できなか
全
った。
くできなかったけど、なんとか乗り切った。This test,できなかった。I didn't really do it I didn't really complete it. But I somehow managed. Norikita. Norikita is like somehow on board, or
You're right
is it
that
managed?
noru can mean to go on, and kiru is to cut. This is being
Yeah.
used to basically mean to ride to the end. So he's saying, I totally was unable to complete the test really, but somehow I was
Ah,
able to write it out anyway. So basically he
oh,
said, I failed that test.
okay.
Owari, woohoo, it's done, it's done. Kaite mata ashita no benkyou ka. When I go home, I'm going to have to study again, huh? For tomorrow. And I'll read that as well. Saiko-kun, kairo. Saiko, shall we go home together? And this bubble right here will go to you, Cookie.
おじさんの自殺の話聞いて思ったんだけど、it's like your uncle's suicide話story. What does it mean by to think and then like to hear? And
So
then
we have the word to think. If we're saying the word think, who is the subject of the sentence? Do you know?
It's our the guy in the white hair. I forgot his
You're
name.
right,
Sorry.
the guy with the white hair. Perfect. Takagi. So he says, I was thinking this, which is to kite. So kite has two possible translations. Do you know what those two translations are?
One of them's to ask, one of them's to hear.
Yes, in this context, to ask would make more context. So I was thinking of asking, right? That makes more sense. So he's basically saying like, so I was thinking about asking you this. What does he want to ask Saiko about?
His uncle's suicide.
Exactly. I want to ask you about your uncle's suicide. Perfect. もしかして最高の親、漫画家になるの反対しね? Says, is it possible that your parents are going to be very against you becoming a mangaka? So the context here is that you told me that I have a question that's related to this idea about your uncle's suicide. Since you think your uncle killed himself, does that mean your parents will be against this thing you want to do? This half right here will go to Anthony.
考えてなかった。いや、考える余裕がなかった。I didn't think about that. No, I didn't have the luxury of thinking about that.
Yep, got no time. Next part right here will go to you, Cookie.
確かにおじさんがああいう死に方してるんだ。絶対に反対される。Which means actually or certainly, uncle the way my uncle died is like it's definitely going to be a source of opposition from my parents.
Yeah, my parents would really for sure be against that since he died in that way. 書いて親を説得する. When I go home, I'll go try to convince my parents about this. Next bubble here will go to you, Anthony.
大丈夫かそうじゃなくても、マジで今日顔色悪いでしょ。そうじゃ、I don't think that it's going to be okay.
そうじゃなくても is a little bit different than that. What does 大丈夫か mean?
大丈夫かIs that okay?
Yes, it can be. Is that okay? In this context, he's saying, will it go well? Since our topic is, I'm going to explain this to my parents. And he says, そうじゃなくても. means if that is not the case, then
if that's not the case, 今日顔色悪いぞ。マジで seriously today, your face, the color of your face is bad.
yes. He's saying, will it be fine? Even if it's not fine, your face is not right now really telling me it's not fine. He has this look on his face. Next bubble is for Cookie.
ああ、急にいろいろありすぎて、きついけど、一つ一つクリアしていかないとな。It's like, it's like, it's like so many things are happening, and it's like tough, but take it one step at a time.
Yep. What does sugite mean?
Too much.
Yes, so it's too many things are happening at once. So even though it's hard, if you do it one step at a time, I could
Yep.
basically do it. So the kanji is waga ie, but he's saying uchi out loud. Uchi no ruru wa kou da. 何か頼み事や相談事があれば、まず母に言う。So the rule of my house is this. If you have something that you want to like ask or advise about, the first thing you gotta do is talk to my mom. And this bubble right here will go to you, Anthony.
何改まった。改まって。Well, what has changed?
That's a good guess. This is not kawaru, to change. Aratamatta is referring to the vibes of the situation. She's saying, why are you acting so formal right now? And now we're continuing with the rules of the house, which is then I'm going to give it to Anthony again since the last line was a bad line.
Okay. それを僕のいないところで、それを僕のいないところで母が父に伝える。それに対しての父の言葉があれば、また母が僕に伝える。何も帰ってこなければ、話が通ったことになる。Oh, okay. So, それを僕のいないところで。So, in place of me, my mom told my dad. Like,
In place is not in the sentence. Boku no inai tokoro, what does that mean?
Boku no inai.
If it said ga, would that be easier? Boku ga inai tokoro.
It's saying that the absence, like I'm not
Yes,
in
in
that
a place where I am not at. So
Yes.
without me.
My mom conveyed something to my dad.
Yes, conveying the thing that I need soul down for, advice about. Okay, what else do we do?
それに対してのtowards that, 父の言葉があれば、父の言葉があれば、that if that's the
What is areba? Do you know? What's the verb here?
It's like ba is like condition, like
Yeah.
if that's the case.
Then what's the here?
Isn't
areba.
are or
It's
no?
aru, not are. That's why you're confused.
Aru.
Aru means to exist. What exists?
言葉が。言葉。
Yep. So if my father has things to say, kichi no kotoba, about what?
また母、それに対しての、towards that thing.
Yep, so if my father has things to say towards that thing, then
また母が僕に伝える。So my mom will like convey it to him again.
はい。
何も返ってこなければ、何も返ってこな、if I don't return and come back, 何も返ってこない。If I don't come back with something, 話が取ったことになる。I'm going to like say it like that. say the things. Or
Yeah, it's a little bit confusing what exactly it's saying here. 話が通ったことになる means that the things I wanted to convey has been successfully conveyed to them. But I'm not it says if nothing comes back, then he's basically saying if so this right here says, so I have something I want, like I say, Mom, I want a popsicle. Mom will tell Dad, hey, Psycho wants a popsicle. Then if Dad has something he wants to say, he'll tell Mom, you can't have a popsicle. And the mom will tell me, Dad said you can't have a popsicle. But if the dad doesn't have anything else to say to me, then I can assume, yes, I can have my popsicle, is what it's saying there. But it's a very convoluted way to say, 何も書いても来なければ. If nothing is returned back toward me, then it's still good, because Mom told him. Yeah. 早く言いなさい. She says, hurry up and say it. And he's like, So this next bubble here, we'll go to you, Cookie.
つまり、僕と父は、真面目に話をしたことがほとんどない。Which means, where's my cursor? That's to say, or in other words, me and my dad are like, very like, honestly.
Pause. There isn't honestly there, but I would, so there's a wa here and there's a ga here. Do you know what the wa particle marks?
Hang on. The wa particle marks like the subject is whatever's before it.
The wa particle only ever marks something called a topic.
Yeah.
The thing that marks a subject is a ga particle.
Oh, right.
The wa particle can replace the ga particle. So you'll see that like with watashi wa Shimon desu. If I said I am Shimon, right? You'd use the wa to replace, because I, being the subject, is obviously also the topic. But not always that is the case. So here, boku to chichi is the topic, but it's not the subject of the sentence. The subject is koto ga hotondo nai. That is our subject of the sentence.
Yeah, so it's like me and my dad are very rarely, like, honestly talking together.
Yes. 僕、漫画家になる. I'm going to become a mangaka. ダメ. No good. すげえ、即答. She says, wow, he just answered me right on the spot. Didn't even tell Dad. Next bubble here, we'll go to Anthony.
高校も大学もちゃんと行くし、大学で出るまでに結果が出なきゃやめる。高校も大学もちゃんと行くし。Is it like she's saying please properly go to like
The speech bubble is going to cycle.
Okay, wait. 高校も大学もちゃんと行くし、even if I go to like high school and college, 大学で出るまでに結果が出なきゃやめろ。
So the subject of the sentence is not in the sentence. I mean, we do have a kekka here, which is basically the subject. We don't have describing what kekka are we talking about. Do you know what a kekka is?
Results.
Results. So these
Yep.
results are not the results of 大学、高校, or it's not those results. Do you know what the 結果 he's referring to are?
結果が出なきゃ。
He's referring to manga 結果. So becoming a mangaka, right? He says, I want to become a mangaka. So he says, 結果が出なきゃ. In other words, mangaka ni naru 結果が出なきゃ. What does that mean?
If the results of the manga is not yet out, it's not
Yes.
out yet,
Is not out yet. I will やめる.
I will stop.
Perfect. I will quit. When will he quit?
During Koko and Daigaku.
Does it say during? Do you know what
No.
let's look at our particles. We have a mo, a shi, and a made. Yeah. Those are our particles.
Even more is so even.
There is evens. Do you know what made means?
It's like putting like a deadline or like.
It is the deadline. So now we have our deadline, right? So
Yeah.
I will quit if there's no results by the time I what?
I finish college.
Okay. Is he currently in college right now?
He's in Koko.
He's actually a middle school student. That's why he's going to iku.
Chuko.
He's going to go properly to high school and college. So he's trying to explain to his mom, saying, I'm going to go, I promise I will go to high school and college, and if I don't become a mangaka by the time I graduate, I will give up on becoming a mangaka. And next bubble here, we'll go to Cookie.
それは、適当な学校行って漫画描くってことでしょう。That's a suitable.
適当. The definition of this is suitable, you're right, but that's not what it means.
It's the other one.
Is the absolute minimum amount to be done in order for something to be done. So it means we finished it, but you did the minimum level of finishing it. So tekito is a very negative word in Japanese. It means doing the bare minimum.
Yeah. So that's like a bare minimum way about going, way about going to school, something like that.
Yeah, if I was translating to English, I probably would just go all around being like, that's just you not even studying at school, or being like, oh, you'll just be trying to get C's. You're just going to try just barely passing school, not actually studying at school type of idea.
Yeah, pretty much. And then it's like, manga ka kutte. I think she's stating that becoming a manga artist
Incorrect. This is not mangaka. This is mangakaku. The verb is kaku. So this actually has a particle as a drop. It says manga o kaku ということでしょ?
Yeah, so like doing the thing of becoming a
Nope.
Not becoming but drawing mangas.
Kaku. Yes.
Yeah, that's what I mean.
So this toyu is referring to all of that. So that is the thing, isn't it? Of you not going to school studying, you're just doing the bare minimum at school while drawing the manga. She's criticizing this idea. Next bubble here goes to Anthony. Anthony?
おじいさんだって、大学在学中にデビューしたのよ。これで認めたら同じじゃない。同じじゃない。漫画なんかより勉強しなさい。おじいさんだって大学在 So the thing about like your oji-san, your uncle, daigaku from college and like middle school debut. He debuted like during the time between like that this college and middle school.
So this is not
Korodemi
chugaku, it's gakuchu. Totally
gakuchi.
different. So chu means inside of something. So this is inside of daigaku,
Ah,
basically, meaning while going to college, he debuted.
ah,
You know?
he debuted while going to college. これで認めたら if I acknowledge this, then wouldn't it be the same thing?
Yes.
Then rather than manga, please study.
Yes. Ordering him around. Yappa, Ji-san ga hikiai ka. Ah, he really is comparing me with uncle, sticking me in the same drawer. Next bubble here goes to Cookie.
おじさんと同じことになるって決まってないだろう。自殺するって決まったわけじゃない。Okay, this will be like Uncle became this decided to be did not decide to become the same thing.
Kimaru.
What?
You're right that the official definition of kimaru is to decide, but you don't have to be the only one to decide. Kimaru has a second, very common use, which is almost like it's a law of the universe, like God decided this. Kimatteru is very common use to mean obviously, duh. So here he's saying it's not for sure, is what he's saying here. It has not been decided by the whole Lord of Mighty, or however we want to translate that idea. It's not, I haven't decided. It's the rules of the universe haven't decided it. So it's not for sure, is how we'd say that in English. What's
So
not for
he's pretty
sure?
much saying he doesn't know yet.
Yes.
Yeah.
同じこ
So
とになる。
yeah, I don't know if he uncle became the same way.
はい。おじいさんと同じことになる means to become just like my uncle. The same things that happen
Yeah.
to my uncle will happen to me. That's not for sure.
Oh, yeah. So because it's an Oji Santo, sorry, I didn't notice that. So I'm not sure if I'll become just like my uncle, but actually there's no but it does say it doesn't necessarily mean that I will end up committing suicide just like him, basically.
Yeah. So wake janai mean literally it translates fine, but it basically means there's no way. Versus before we had daro, which is like, so it's the same thing probably won't happen to me. I mean, I for sure won't kill myself, is the second part. So it has been for sure decided that this is impossible. Versus this, right, this decidingness has not happened. So the difference is where the nai is located. So wake janai means there's no possible reason. So the existing of wake is impossible. And that is kimatteru. That one's for sure. あんた、じいさん自殺したことを持ってるの Wait, you think your uncle killed himself? しまった、口を滑られた。Oh, whoops, I let that slip. じいちゃんはこの詰めすぎて She says, your uncle was so stubborn. And then that gets cut off, so now it's time for Anthony.
ごめん。わかってる。売れなくなって。ごめん、わかってる。売れなくなって、また売れるために頑張りすぎて、死ぬまで書くなんて、ある意味自殺かなって。It's like, sorry, I understand. 売れなくなって、また。To not being able to like sell mata to like keep on selling when it's not selling well, or
Yep. You tried too
あ
hard trying to sell in order to try to sell something that wasn't selling. Perfect.
頑張りすぎ。死ぬまで書くなんて。あ、drawing, doing something like a drawing until I die ある意味自殺かな。It is, it has a, ある自殺。ある意味自殺かな。I don't know what かなって。Is it like a
Kana?
negative?
No, it's
かな。
kana.
あ、
Um, it's not nai. Uh,
あ、
it's a little bit like na. Do you know what na means on its own?
it's like an adjective. Like,
That's true, but that's a different na. Na at the end of the sentence is like ne, but to yourself. Kana is a question to yourself in a way, but not really a question, kind of rhetorical. Kana means like kind of in this
okay.
context. Kana. I might Google what the official translation of that is. But
Okay,
he's basically saying
so,
it's like darol, basically, but it's more to yourself, while darol is more like to who you're talking to. Satsukana.
so it's like saying, uh, right, drawing, doing something like drawing till I die is like, does it have meaning like
No question there.
suicide?
Let's pause. Let's come up with jisatsu. That is
Jisatsu is
suicide.
suicide.
So,
Yeah.
what is the meaning of suicide? Do we know?
The meaning of suicide?
Mm-hmm.
Uh,
死ぬまで書くなんて.
uh, no.
So this is saying that, well, I feel like, that drawing all the way until you die, it kind of has the meaning of suicide.
Okay.
Kana, right? Aruimi
I see.
means there exists a meaning. What a meaning? Are we talking about the meaning of the suicide, right? So there
Yeah,
exists a meaning of suicide. If you weren't killed, you didn't get a heart attack, you just drew so much until somehow that killed you. Somehow you died by doing that. If you think about it, that is a kind of suicide, is what he's saying here.
I see.
Next thing right here is for Cookie.
ね、とにかく、ダメよ。お父さんだって、も許すはずないでしょう。So it's like, anyway, you can't do it, or you're not going to do it. Uh, after all, your dad is like, it's impossible your dad is going to allow it.
Perfect. Good job. はい。話終わり. Okay, our conversation is over. Doo-doo-doo-doo. And I'm going to have us stop here because it's a good arc stopping point. I think next time we meet, we might actually finish this chapter. So I'm going to stop the recording.